Strikers in the Premiership today. Mark Viduka as Leeds United return to London. Arsenal picked Dennis Bergkamp, expecting to pose more problems for Leicester. Good evening. You're obviously getting yourself nicely match fit for the 7 o'clock start. And the action this week is terrific. Terry had his eye on Upton Park today, Ali on events at Highbury. But first it's Southampton. Could they manage to win their opening Premiership game at their new stadium? Well, Chelsea were the first visitors, hoping to show a hint of Championship pedigree. The commentator is Clive Tilsley.
It's well equipped and it's welcoming. It's certainly not the Dell. £32 million to build, housing 32,000 fans, more than have ever watched a Southampton home game before. The Saints come marching into the St Mary's Stadium. New venue, same team beaten at Leeds last weekend. Captain Jason Dodd and talisman Matt Letizia are both injured. Number 18, Rory Delap, and number 12, Anders Svensson are the newcomers, but it's a home debut for everyone today. A beat-up Chelsea midfield means no place for Gianfranco Zola. His stealth gives way to the strength of Slavisa Jokanovic. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank plays between two out-and-out wingers up front. David Ellery is the man in charge. Southampton actually crossed the threshold of their new home with a prestige friendly against Spanish opponents a fortnight ago, and they were 4-0 down to Espanyol by half-time. They will be hoping that the novelty is now worn off. Rich. Chris Marsden taking over. This is Svensson. Nice to tuck that into Rosler. Now Pahars. Davis is there, Rosler is there, and somehow Desai might have smuggled it clear, but still an opportunity for Kevin Davis after Oakley had won the ball back, and Chelsea had dithered almost fatally inside their own penalty area. They had to clear the ball twice here, Chelsea. First from the dangerous cross, which almost found their Southampton shirt, and then after the ball had come off Graham Lasso. Just 3 weeks short of his first anniversary in charge. Luca Vialli was given just 5 Premiership games last season. Davis just trying to shield his eyes from the sun there before heading it down to Rosler. Won by Richards. Svensson. No room for the shot, but he's got under it. Anders Svensson was Stuart Gray's first signing as Southampton manager. Paid £750,000 for the Swedish international midfield player in the summer. It's a poor pass from Pahars. Now here's Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. They just sat up in front of him, and it was a volley in the end for last season's leading Premiership scorer. He may be a new name to many, Stuart Gray, but he has been with Southampton for 10 years now. So, a bit too far in front of Petit. That clear. Desai well played to Lasso. It's a better link with Petit. So to the edge of the Southampton penalty area, towards Hasselbank! There's plenty more where last season's goals came from. Jimmy Hasselbank, leading scorer in last season's Premiership, opens his account for this season, and gate crashes the Southampton party. fed by Graham Lasso, and Hasselbank between defenders with the goalkeeper committed and stranded, had the simplest of tasks just to nod ahead of approval at Lasso's cross. Rosler into Davis, Kevin Davis. It's as clear as an opening as Southampton have been able to etch out thus far. Clever little flick from Uwe Rosler, but Davis just skewed his shot wide of the mark. And Lampard now feeding Bronkhart, and 4 others in the break. Bronkhart has Melchior overlapping, instead goes for Hasselbank, helped on to Zenden. Well, he wasn't really bought to score goals out of Iron Zenden, but he marked his Chelsea debut last weekend with a debut goal. Jokanovic running into Marsden but surviving the challenge, and Lampard sweeping it forward now to Zenden to lap the cover. Zenden has 3 in support. This is Morris, Jody Morris. Well, goal scoring is not perhaps his strongest suit, but he fancied his chances there with 2 more waiting to his right on his less favoured left side. Early forward towards Rosler. Terry leaning over him is penalised. Well, the base camp from which Southampton will hope to go forward. Free kick in a menacing position. His touch hasn't always been the best today, Uwe Rosler, but he's produced a very spirited performance in leading the Southampton line. Rory Delap looks the main candidate here. Bridge in the foreground is a left footer. It's Delap. Caught hold of it well. Didn't clear Ed de Hoy's crossbar by more than a couple of feet. Oakley. Through for Haas, now Delap. Davis. So was quickly in with the challenge, but ran kindly for Rory Delap. Headed red and white shirts forward. In goes Rosler! Just couldn't quite make contact. It was a courageous diving header by Uwe Rosler from a teasing cross from Rory Delap. Bridge. Southampton seem to have found a second win here. Haas. Space for Marsden, behind you. And his pocket picked by Iron Zenden, who then gave it straight back to Southampton in the shape of Richards. Now Bridge. Richards. Bridge. Crossed in towards Rosler! Well, Chelsea wouldn't want to give him too many more sights of goal. Melchior. He's run beyond BT, but he clashed there with Terry on the edge of the penalty area. And David Emery points for a goal kick. Well, John Terry just seemed to mistime that challenge. It ran away from BT, but he just got a toe to the ball, and Terry was late with the challenge, but the referee pointed agonisingly in the direction of the penalty spot, but in fact for a goal kick. Richards playing up front almost now. Davis set it up for Oakley! Well, they've forced the pace for much of this second half without just being able to find a way through, and it was just running away from Matt Oakley there, and he just couldn't quite catch up with it. Stanic, Zola, Oh, and he's got away from Lundekvam here, and Southampton have been exposed chasing an equaliser. Zola goes for glory himself. Well, Hasselbaink looked disappointed, so does Lampard. Not the kind of goal which is beyond Gianfranco Zola, but there were other options for him. And he did so well to set the position up. Look how free Hasselbaink is, and Lampard too, for that matter, on the edge of the penalty area. Zola. Hasselbaink is free. Southampton committed now in search of a saving goal. Hasselbaink into the path of Lampard. There are men over at the far post, and one of them is Stanic, and that just rounds off Chelsea's day. Mario Stanic, deep in stoppage time, has sealed the points for Chelsea, and the team who waited an age to win on their travels last season have done so at the first time of asking this season. St Mary's is their lucky ground. Southampton hopelessly committed in search of an equaliser, completely exposed, and Lampard picked out Stanic to make it 2-0. It's his first goal for Chelsea since his Premiership debut at the start of last season. And it completes a miserable afternoon, which promised so much for Southampton Football Club. Not the historic day that Southampton had hoped for. Chelsea will play prettier football this season. They needed another goal from Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, and a little bit of luck in so much that a strong penalty appeal went begging. But Stanic tied it up, and Chelsea are the gate crashers in Southampton, 2-0 winners.
First Premiership match at St Mary's disappointing for Southampton. Chelsea's first win. Reaction from that game next. Plus, West Ham against Leeds. A fiery Arsenal-Leicester match. And all the other goals to come. Southampton 0, Chelsea 2 this afternoon. Claudio Ranieri now, in English.
I know the result is very good, but were you happy with the performance?
No, the performance don't is wonderful, but when you play with this hot, it's very difficult, no? And then last game, our performance was very good and drew. Now the performance like Southampton, and we won. It's better.
Grazie, Claudio. Well, Andy Townsend played for both Southampton and Chelsea in his time. He's there today, and with him, Graham Lasso.
Thank you, Des. Graham, great 3 points. Last year, you struggled so much away from home, but you must be delighted to be up and running already this year.
Yeah, it's a fantastic result. Our first away game of the season, and 2-0. Didn't concede a goal, which is great from a defensive perspective.
Well, you're very much involved in the first goal. Talk me through it.
I was shown inside, really. I had a lot of space inside me, and I was able to sort of meet Jimmy's sort of eye contact, and he peeled off to the far post and managed to score his first goal of the season, which was great.
Well, excellent goal, and it's very modest. It was a super cross, but also some key incidents in the making of that goal. Great link-up of passes with you and Manu Petit, probably the best in the entire first half. When you get it back at this point, just want you to watch Matthew Oakley, the Southampton number 8. He really is walking when he should be tucking in behind Rory Delap, doubling up on you, making it twice as difficult for you. He doesn't. You've done exactly the right thing. Drove into the space, lifted your head. Now look at Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. He's just going to peel in front of Dean Richards and then pull off towards the back stick. Works like a charm. And then all he's relying on now is the quality of the cross. You duly oblige, leaves him with a simple finish, but great goal, excellent goal. And as I say, the best bit of football in the entire first half. They put you under a lot of pressure, didn't they, in the second half?
They did.
And what do you think of the penalty incident that wasn't given?
It was difficult, really. James Beattie gets one stride ahead of John Terry, and as they go into the box, I think John's just reaching for it, and well, he didn't give it, so
no,
I'm
exactly.
about that.
And David Elleray, who's been under pressure lately, he had a great view of this. I mean, there he is in the middle of the picture. He's only, what, 30 yards away from it. This was a penalty. He had a good game, to be honest with you today, Mr. Elleray, but he should have given that. I thought he had at that point, but he's given a goal kick, much to the relief of all you and your teammates.
Very much.
Yeah, well listen, great win today. No doubt Southampton will be very disappointed. The Blues up and running already. Back to you in the studio, Des.
Andy Graham, thank you very much indeed. First impression of Chelsea, first glimpse of them, Terry?
Well, they'll be delighted. They wasn't too happy last week against Newcastle, but Ranieri says it wasn't a particularly good performance, but the reality is he's got 3 points, that's 4, and now as he gets that confidence, they'll be able to play, hopefully, as we know that they can. A lot of new faces, they've got to settle in.
And Southampton, they struggle most seasons. Do you see them struggling again this season?
Well, I hope not, because I thought before the season started they would do quite well. But I fear in front of goal they might have problems. I just can't see them scoring a lot of goals. And defensively, for the 2 goals they lost, I thought they were very poor, especially the first one.
But now they've got this big ground, and if they fill it up, they're going to get some more money. They start buying some players, perhaps.
And it could work against them. Chelsea looked as though they were enjoying it, a lot of space to play as well.
Yeah, whereas at the Dell...
They used to love that, didn't they? Nobody liked going to the Dell with Southampton.
No, the players were almost on the pitch down there.
That's right.
Yeah, OK,
yeah.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, Goodison Park next to see Everton against Middlesbrough. The commentator is Guy Mowbray.
Here's Campbell. Confronted by Southgate. Campbell still gets the cross in. Ferguson! The Everton talisman an inch away from opening the scoring. Hendrich with the corner. Campbell! Kevin Campbell's first Goodison Park goal since February. Simplicity itself as he towered above Vickers and Schwarzer. Signs of frailty at the back for Steve McLaren to rectify. Unsworth looking for Ferguson once again. Campbell's flick. Alexanderson! It's a good block from Schwarzer. Still Alexanderson. Lovely touch from Kevin Campbell. And it's a good save. Alexanderson. Paulins away. Gemmell hits it! Wonderful strike from Scott Gemmell. Everton double their lead in some style. Over the top for Job. Just got the wrong side of Watson. And it's a good block from Gerrard. Job keeps it in. And then caught. Middlesbrough still seeking that first goal.
Well, people tend to think in recent seasons that Everton are always going to struggle, don't they? But, I mean, they've had a good start.
They've had a great start. I think the key to their success is keeping players fit. I think if they can keep Ferguson and Campbell fit, that they've got a chance of scoring and doing reasonably well. Because Ferguson's a handful, I mean a real handful for any defence. And it'd be lovely, I don't know how far he is away, it'd be lovely to see Gascoigne get back and playing again.
And your old manager at Rangers is a good man, isn't he?
Thrilled to bits from him, yeah, he's a very good man, him and Archie, and they'll definitely get the best out of the team.
Yeah, but Middlesbrough, I mean the club you helped out last season, I mean, bad start for them, 3 defeats.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they doing differently apart from losing at the moment?
Well, that's it. I mean, it starts getting in the mind now. You've lose 3 games, and they're a good side. They've got good players, and they get a bit of a tanking on the first game. That's not helped.
OK, thanks very much. Right, more action now, starting with Fulham and the man who's already making a terrific impact in the Premiership. He's French, he's cool, he knows how to relax on match day mornings, but on the pitch he's like greased lightning. And of course he was in the Fulham team at home to Derby today. He is Louis Saha.
Come on, Fulham!
Louis Saha's striking start has surprised nobody at Fulham. Here they reckon their French young prince will soon be better than Thierry Henry. What an opening he made, almost. Inches away from Barry Hell's cross inside the first minute. No Mark Poom, no Fabrizio Ravanelli. Jim Smith's message was simple: stop Saha at every turn. And try and test Fulham's defence. By the end of the half, Derby had gone closest. Seth Johnson's shot came back off the post. Saha threatened to find his spring in the second half. He just wasn't allowed to. Derby doggedly dug in. The sapping heat did the rest. By the finish, even the Londoners' other impressive Frenchman, Steve Malbranc, just didn't have the legs. For Fulham and Sahar, a rare experience. They've drawn a blank.
Well, I think we've got to take it as a mark of respect when teams come here and they go away happy with a draw. Their fans are cheering, the players are coming off the
against Manchester United nearly increased Rovers' lead. Glenn Hoddle might have had something to say to his defenders after Damien Duff ran unchallenged from the halfway line to fire Blackburn into a 2-goal lead. Skill, pace and power from the Irishman, and a case of ball watching for the Tottenham defence. Spurs scored nothing more than a consolation goal in the 90th minute when Christian Ziga's awkward shot deceived Brad Friedel. Blackburn 2, Tottenham 1. It was Alan Kirbishley's 300th match in solo charge of Charlton at Portman Road, and rarely in his reign would he have seen his side so dominated. Ipswich attacked in waves. Second-half substitute Pablo Canago nearly grabbing the lead with that header. For all their pressure, George Burley's men couldn't make a breakthrough, but Charlton's Kevin Lisby could, when he tried one of those hit-and-hope shots that looked a goal from the moment it left his boot. An unstoppable shot, and his first in the Barclaycard Premiership. It's one that he certainly won't forget.
Well, that was Russ Williams reporting there. Now, what do you like to see most from your footballers? Talent, skill, class? Well, our next match has players who have all those things. Now, after their big win in the Battle of Highbury, Leeds United were back in London today, hoping to underline once again their top potential. They were at West Ham, where before the match there was a minute's silence for Les Sealey, who sadly died this week. The commentator is Peter Drury.
Club under reconstruction. Upton Park's new West Stand was only passed fit on Thursday. It is half finished, and just like it, West Ham's team sheet should look very different in a month or two. Meantime, pending new investments, it is unchanged. So Shaka Hislop settles in as long-term goalkeeping cover for David James, and Trevor Sinclair runs out at Upton Park for the first time since January. Much of the rebuilding here is financed by the £18 million Leeds paid for Rio Ferdinand. He scored here on his first return in April. Robbie Keane also scored that day and comes in for Alan Smith, who was hurt at Arsenal on Tuesday. It's Batty for Bacca in midfield. Well, discipline is the issue of the week, and today it's at the discretion here of Paul Durkin. 9 red cards in the Barclaycard Premiership to date. A couple of those, of course, to Leeds at Arsenal this week. And they are one of the clubs especially under the microscope. Not least also because of their winning start, as Keane tries to put Kuehl in early, but Sebastian Schemmel is across covering from right back for West Ham. Todorov had time to turn. Cole is one way and Sinclair the other. Ferdinand tackled, Schemmel hit it early. Di Canio is onside! And just failed to make telling contact. Right in the thick of it, right from the off, again, Paolo Di Canio. Di Canio from deep. Oh, it's a wonderful pass. And Sinclair's onto it, and Sinclair's had a go. Well, you can't fault West Ham for enterprise in the early moments of the game. Nor can you find any fault in what must have been 65, 70, 75 yards of crossfield pass from Paolo Di Canio. Jack Cole. Ran away from Cole and Moncur. Cole wanted a bit of it back. And his was the first offence on Decor. Winterburn followed it up, it's fair to say. Here's Bowyer early, aimed in towards Viduka. Clear header, clear chance. The sort of opportunity he was gobbling up before the summer. Though his cross was ideal, Viduka failed to get over the header. Sinclair beaten to it by Kuehl. And Kuehl has ridden Song's challenge as well. and is taking on Schemmel, and got a deflection as he tried to nick it into the near post, which almost caused it to squeak inside the near post. Cold attacks for West Ham. Mills is the tackler this time, and Batty can get it clear. Here's Sinclair. Hit the other way round Hart, and then bounced off Dacour. And the referee has given the free kick West Ham's way. And Dacour is puzzled by that. Suddenly the game has fire in its belly. Di Canio's free kick, Carrick's header. Dashed away from his marker, darted to the near post. Di Canio delivered ideally, and Carrick deflected it wide. Challenge was Todorov's, and Carrick's had to go from halfway. Wonderfully imaginative. Spotted Martin off his line, and just inside the Leeds half. There's ball for Keane for Mills. And Mills crossing Viduka's header. Good firm contact at the near post by Mark Viduka. Sandwiched as he was by a couple of West Ham defenders. Hislop's clearance isn't so clever. Mills. Matteo in at the back of Todorov. Carrick quickly onto the hurriedly taken free kick. Michael Carrick. Very confident, upright footballer Carrick is. Carrick with the poise and the vision to make the best of the opening. Moncur. Sinclair. Moncur against Batty. West Ham's free kick. Canio, of course, is in charge. Cole has wandered towards the edge of the penalty area and is in Todorov's company. Daly's got forward as well. And Carrick for Di Canio to aim at. Up in the air by Matteo. Martin's lost it, and Cole has stuck it in! To no avail. Nigel Martin protected by Paul Durkin. Matteo caused the confusion. Todorov went up with Martin, and a circumstance like that is always debatable. Was he really fouled, or is the goalkeeper overprotected? It is a debate which rages eternally. Sinclair. Out by Mills and chased in by Sinclair, who's freed Schemmel here, though Matteo's across and has tied it up very neatly. Forward again by Moncur, and won by Sinclair, and gathered by Schemmel, and it's Schemmel's cross, and Ferdinand's clearing header. Schemmel will get another go. Marched off it by Dacour, West Ham's free kick. Di Canio's free kick! They thought they had scored, they were wrong. Rippled the side netting. Audacious, typically Di Canio effort to catch Martin out at his near post. Winterburn, Di Canio. Winterburn fortuitously got it back to him, and then Danny Mills went thundering in. He's inviting them onto him, Paolo Di Canio. Oh! An exchange that went over the top, involving Danny Mills, but involving a raised hand by Paolo Di Canio. It's a hot day. He's a hot-tempered fella. They both are. And Paul Durkin just wants to draw a line here. Mills and Di Canio first met at floor level there, but the conversation went on. Mills had a lot of talking to do, and Di Canio's rather ill-advised idea was to shut him up like that. Not clever. Di Canio. Oh, well won by Sinclair. And Todorov. Big chance for West Ham. Svetoslav Todorov put in by Sinclair's prodigious leap, and by his expert first touch, he just couldn't get the curl on the left-footed strike, the Bulgarian that he really craved. Cole. Sinclair. Sinclair's cross. Mills got a touch on it. Di Canio can retrieve. And run at Danny Mills. Di Canio has to take him on 2 or 3 times, and then he picks out Winterburn. Nigel Winterburn goals are collector's items. His only one for West Ham was at Leeds last season. Defoe. Sinclair. Sinclair's cross. Di Canio's take. Paolo Di Canio! Away by Ferdinand. Where once Rio Ferdinand would have cheered a Paolo Di Canio goal, here he was at full stretch to prevent one. Truce called, without blood being drawn. A first Premiership point for Glenn Roeder, a 7th out of 9 for Leeds this season. It's goalless, and that's just about right.
We looked tired from Tuesday night. It was a big effort. West Ham haven't played. It's always a difficult place to come here, and I don't think we deserved to win the game. It was a good professional draw in the nicest possible way, but I know we can play a lot better.
It was important for us today to take something out of the game, and quite honestly, we could have nicked it and got all 3 points, but you know, we'll have to be satisfied with the one, and now our season's up and running.
Well, it's a shame it didn't produce a goal, Terry, because there was bags of skill on show there, and West Ham fought well, didn't they? Valiantly in that match.
Absolutely excellent. You know, they've gone to Liverpool last week, put up a really good show, tough game. They've got nothing. And Glenn Roeder must be pleased with the way his team's played over 2 games.
Yeah.
You know, I think the content of what he's got there has been very, very good.
They had a goal disallowed. Clear that one up for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a free kick from the right-hand side, and Di Canio floats it in, and Matteo gets a defensive header, which he just skies. And Todorov sort of just turns his back and jumps into the goalkeeper. Bit unlucky, but as you can see in the bottom of your right-hand screen there, the referee signals for pushing. He just turns and just leans back into him. I've seen him given, I've seen him not given, but that's the way it was there today.
I have to tell you, Di Canio's in my team, whatever team.
I would think he's in every. He's wonderful. I kept clapping him today. He was so good.
we had to control him at one stage. But, yeah.
Well, his trickery and skill is just amazing. Here we're used to seeing that skill, but here we've seen something else. We've seen a master pass, 65 yards plus, exactly where it's got to go. And I'm afraid Sinclair, who also like a lot, just wasted that. But this is, look at this, he lets the defender have a look at it, he thinks he's got it. That is terrific. He's not happy to twist him inside out once, but he wants to do it again there. And the cross is just not perhaps the quality he wants. Again, Mills overcommits. That is absolutely fantastic. There is no doubt about it. That's brilliant.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me laugh. It's brilliant.
He definitely annoyed Mills, didn't he? I mean, he annoys players not just with his skill, but with his kind of arrogance.
Both. Well, when you're this capable, this is what you do. He tries to put it through his legs, and they have a little chat here, and I think Mills is winding him up. He's getting him going, and instead of ignoring him, he just pushes his hand across his face there, which, to be fair, Mills plays the game because the referee's seen it, and some guys that we've seen recently dive to the ground. Yeah. He could have got him in trouble, but Paolo's Paolo. I mean.
Apart from quite a few red cards at the start of the season, we've seen a quick free kick, so there was another instance in this match,
Very
wasn't
topical,
there?
yeah. They're saying we've got to wait for the whistle. Paolo, again, on the ball, leads turn off. He takes it quickly. Carrick's in from nothing on the halfway line. Just takes the ball in, and there's a good strike. A bit unfortunate not to get it on target, but that's what you can do when teams turn off, if you turn on.
Yeah. No pro zone this week?
Well, you'll be seeing plenty of it. Don't worry
okay.
about that. We only use it when we need it.
Any thought on that game from you, Alan?
I think he's overrated, the Canio.
I thought you were going to say overrated pro zone.
That goes without saying. No, I thought, not often I agree with David O'Leary, but I thought his side looked a little bit tired after their midweek sort of exploits, you know, and I think West Ham could have and probably just deserved to win it.
That was a good match. Pity we didn't see a goal from it. Now, one match still to come. It's at Highbury. Talking points, terrific action, red cards, and goals. Well, it's all there if you want it. But now it's Arsenal against Leicester in the Barclaycard Premiership. Defeat would mean trouble for either manager. Arsenal had already lost at home, but especially for Leicester's Peter Taylor. And the commentator is John Champion.
Neither the venue nor the opposition that Peter Taylor would have chosen. He cast an envious glance at the Arsenal team sheet when it was handed in. There's a first start for Giovanni van Bronckhorst, earmarked for the role once held by Petit, and Dennis Bergkamp is preferred to Thierry Henry. Would that Leicester had such quandaries. Their selection was complicated by the loss of skipper Matt Elliott to illness and Davidson and Sturridge to injury. Jamie Scowcroft makes his debut, and 19-year-old Jordan Stewart gets a first Premiership start in a reshaped five-man defence. For Leicester, it may be a seminal day. They've lost 10 of their last 11 Premiership matches, 12 in a row away from home. They've conceded 8 goals here on 3 occasions. But hey, who's counting? Even without the weight of history, their task, I think, is difficult enough. And it's the quality of the performance as much as the result that'll be seen as significant by those who sit in judgment on the manager. Andy D'Urso, the man in charge, he was the 4th official when Leeds played here on Tuesday. He had an awful lot to write down in his little black book. Adams. Now Dennis Wise. Always enjoys a spat with Arsenal. Perez. Bergkamp. And Dennis Bergkamp. A fraction wide after barely a minute of play. Oh, Leicester hearts would have been in Leicester mouths. It wasn't so much that the defence opened up, merely that Bergkamp spotted a chink of light. And from there, you'd have backed him to score. Wise. Now Lauren. Pires. For Ljungberg. Bergkamp is forward. Wiltor is forward. And no attempt made to play the ball by Sinclair. It's going to be the first caution of the game. Campbell, Vieira, Adams, all waiting. And there's Campbell. Didn't get to it cleanly because Scowcroft tracked back. Launching pad for so many Arsenal attacks. Patrick Vieira. Great pass to Pires. 4 waiting. And Sinclair behind. Thwarting the best move of the game so far. Van Bronckhorst to take. Vieira. And Adams just managed to keep it in. Pires likewise. Still the players stationed as for the set piece. Pires. And tucked away, easy as you like, by Freddie Ljungberg. It had been coming. Relentless Arsenal pressure. Simple move to cut asunder the Leicester rearguard. And a 7th goal in his last 10 starts for the Swede. That's what you call being caught horribly square. Wise trying to take control with the help of Izzet, who was fouled by Vieira. And the referee wants a word. And Vieira, I think, is a little unfortunate to go into the notebook. It's his first offence. Wasn't a particularly heinous crime. But a caution it is. He might even argue that he made contact with the ball. Wise. Oh, and Scowcroft sliding in, inches away. Wiltor, Bergkamp, lovely, Pires, and surely Wiltor for 2-0. His 50th game for the club, marked with a goal that was beautifully set up, particularly by Bergkamp, and then the thought and unselfishness of Pires. But Bergkamp's back heel was exquisite, and from there the rest was not difficult. Very difficult to defend against. In Leicester's case, impossible. Bergkamp. Wiltor. Vieira. And Bergkamp has found some space, which in itself was an achievement, because Leicester players were scurrying hither and thither. Arsenal are in the sort of mood that they exhibited against Leeds in the first half the other night. At times, unstoppable. The brow may well become more furrowed before the afternoon is out. Cole. Behind by Marshall. Seems to be some backspin on the ball. Ljungberg is limping for Arsenal. We'll wait until half-time for attention. Van Bronckhorst. Sol Campbell. Man on the post, but Flowers made the save anyway. Made solid contact, the new centre-back. Wiltor. Vieira. Wise snapping at his heels. Now Vieira is being called across, and so is Wise as a result of this little spat. Adams becoming involved in his role as skipper. And the advice from the referee Andy D'Urso just seems to be to calm down. Cole. Ljungberg. And Dennis Wise has transgressed once too often. One had been making a list of predictions before today's game. The fact that Dennis Wise's name would go into the referee's book would have been fairly high on it. Oh, bad tackle from behind by Delaney. On Pires, Wise isn't helping by going and telling Pires to get up. And Dennis Wise is gradually losing the plot. There is a history to this in that in the FA Cup last season when playing for Chelsea, Wise was the victim of a bad tackle by Pires, responded by goading the Frenchman, and then there was quite a bust-up that ensued. On this occasion, though, Delaney is the main transgressor. Came right through the back of Robert Pires. Oh, and Dennis Wise is off. Dennis Wise sent off for revisiting his feud with Pires. Oh, and Vieira goes as well. Patrick Vieira, unluckily booked in the first half, has also seen red. And this flurry of Premiership dismissals continues, and you've got short odds against Vieira and Wise being the two to go. Campbell. Bergkamp, and here comes Pires. Two to his left, Henry and Cole. It's Henry, and it was blocked by the heel of Impey, when really Arsenal should have extended their lead. Savage. Stewart. Van Bronckhorst. Henry on his starting blocks, and he's timed it well. He's onside. And what a disappointing anticlimactic finish. Although one senses his moment may well still come. The trap, such as it was, sprung with ease. And the chance fluffed. Adams. It's safe to have a gallop forward. Henry. Away from Savage, referee might have played the advantage. Henry would have liked him to. It would at least have been nice to see whether the advantage would have accrued, which is within the discretion of match officials. Pires. Kanu. Henry! A half-century of goals for Arsenal. Flowers and Leicester on their knees. Horrible deflection. Left the goalkeeper completely wrong-footed. After the traumatic home defeat by Leeds, this is just what Arsenal needed, a relatively easy run-out. Grimondi. Kanu. Pires deserves one. That's an excellent save, though, by Flowers. Spread himself and made himself as big as he possibly could. Now Lauren. Pires. Oh, and Marshall perilously close to his own goal, and in fact over the goal line for a corner. But didn't Flowers do well to keep out Robert Pires? So we've seen 3, is it to be 4? Van Bronckhorst, Savage, Cremondy. Oh, Henry, good save, Canu! Oh, that's cruel on poor Tim Flowers. Who has done his utmost to keep the scoreline respectable, but Canu has spoilt all that. And what's agonising is that it was the final act of the game. Full time, Arsenal 4, Leicester 0.
Dennis, let's deal with you first. You didn't have any arguments about you actually being sent off, did you? Headbutted him?
Yeah, I think 2 yellow cards are acceptable. I think I got a straight red. Patrick got another yellow, and I don't think that's acceptable, to be honest, because we put our heads together. Simple as that. I think the referee sent me off for headbutting. But he's 6'4" and he needs to come down first before he puts his head onto my head.
I put my head down because he's more shorter than me, so...
But the intent is a red card, isn't it?
I don't know. For me, it's difficult to accept it because I don't think I will deserve it. But if the ref gives me that red card, that means for him, I deserve it. And I think everyone will see the things on the TV, will make their own decision and their own opinion. So for myself, I don't think I deserve the red card, but I just have to accept it and look forward for the next game.
Well, joining us now is the Leicester manager, Peter Taylor. It's been a tough week, Peter.
Yes, a very tough week, Des, but just got to get on with it.
What was your view of your performance today?
Well, we played against an excellent team. It was certainly better than last week, but unfortunately, I think with the quality of the Arsenal team, we were just chasing the game all the time.
Of course, Dennis Wise getting sent off didn't help.
No, but of course they went down to 10 men as well, so there's certainly no excuses on our part, but it was a very hot day, and when it's as hot as it was today, I don't think you fancy playing against a good passing team.
How confident are you that you can turn things round at Leicester?
I'm very confident. I think that the lads worked as hard as they can, and they'll carry on doing that until we get some results.
You're confident you'll be given the chance to do it?
I hope so, Des. I hope so. I'm confident in my own ability, and it's a big challenge. And I want to do it.
Of course, they were out for your blood after game 1, weren't they?
Well, I think, to be honest, I think that the Bolton performance was a very poor performance. So I can understand the frustrations of everybody, and it was not acceptable. And I can only hold my hands up to that. Today was better, but it means that we've got no points from 2 games.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, Peter.
Thank you.
Well, more about Peter in a moment, but first, deal with those sendings off for us, Ali, your view of it.
Well, I'm not having them as sending offs. I think that they've already been yellow carded, which we saw happen. But I think that the referee should show a little bit more common sense, Des. And you can say the players should show more common sense, but it all stems from, I think it was Delaney's tackling Perez. And up the top left-hand corner screen, you can see Wise and Vieira square up to each other.
It wasn't a headbutt, was it?
It's not headbutts. That's actually a term of endearment in Glasgow, that. Honest, I mean, there's nothing in that. You saw the other game, the West Ham game, you saw Paul Durkin, the referee, show, I think, common sense with Di Canio and Mills. I mean, he could have sent Di Canio off, but he never did. He knew there was nothing in it. Di Canio's one of his characters, and he showed common sense, pulled the two of them together, had a word with him, and I honestly think he should have done the same there.
OK. Now, Dennis Bergkamp was preferred to Thierry Henry to start today. Was that a surprise to you? How well did he play for you?
I thought for the first half he was absolutely different class, Des. I mean, he scored 2 goals at Borough. I thought if there's a player in the Premiership with more awareness of players around him, then I've yet to see it. He see Leicester give the ball away in the midfield, and Dennis is in the inside left channel, peeling off. Now, his touch here to wrong foot Gary Rowett is absolute magic. There it is there. Gives himself the yard, not even half a yard, gives himself a yard, and he probably should have scored there. Here again, turns around, he's got a vision, sees Van Bronckhorst making the run, and it's a great ball. And I think Van Bronckhorst could probably went to a little bit more conviction here. The flick here, talking about the awareness of players around him. He knows Perez is running behind him. You need to have eyes in the back of your head to see him. He knows he's there and flicks the ball through to him. I thought, honestly, I think Bergkamp was outstanding first half.
Yeah. Now, what your view on the Peter Taylor situation, Terry? I mean, poor chap. I mean, he played 1 game last week. All right, they got thumped badly at home. He's immediately under huge pressure. Is that fair?
Well, I've seen after 6, 7, 8 games, and people say there's a crisis, but one I've never seen. I find that amazing after all his preparation and so forth. I just find that, you know, his buyers, they've got to give him 10, 12 games.
Was it to do with a bad run last season? I mean, at one stage last season, he's a brilliant manager. Then he had a bad run.
Yeah, but I think you assess that at the end of the season. You say, well, he's not done it. That's their decision if they want to move you on. Once they've said, give him this season, it's a new, fresh start. And there's 3 teams at the bottom with no points, 3 above those with 1. So there's 6 of them.
It's early.
And it's very early.
It's early.
Very
Right,
early.
Ali's moment. Top 3 goals of the day.
Well, top 3, I was going through my literally thousands in the mailbag there, and the vast majority agreed with me, unlike you two last week. Damien Duff, 3rd place, great run. Spurs defence just backing off, and he finished off with a great shot into the corner. Second, wonderful volley from Scott Gemmell. Doesn't take his eye off the ball, doesn't try to burst the ball, makes a great contact, and the ball's in the net. Winner for me. This is a tremendous goal from Kevin Lisby. What about that for a finish? I think that just speaks for itself. I think that's his 1st goal in the Premiership, and what a way to start.
I think you're getting the hang of this now.
Yep. What do you think yourself?
I would think
Not that it'll matter.
you're down to about 4,000 letters with that one. I think, okay. Now, football continues shortly on the ITV Sport channel with all the goals from the nationwide First Division. Here on ITV1, we're followed by This Is My Moment. Well, Everton are having a nice moment because they're top of the table at the moment. If we look at the top, Everton and Leeds both with 7 points. Arsenal come next, and then Bolton unbeaten. They play on Monday. And if we look at the bottom, we will see, as you've just said, Terry, that there are those 3 teams, Southampton, Middlesbrough and Leicester City, with no points at the moment. Now, Terry, England, big day for them next weekend, of course, away to Germany. Would you be bullish about it? I mean, what do you think about their prospects?
Yeah, I am. I think at Wembley, we lost it in midfield. They outnumbered us, and we had grave problems to try to deal with that. We've got to cope with that much better. The midfield battle's got to be won there by us.
Yeah, okay. And up front, who would you play?
I would play Owen, and I'd play Sheringham, because I still think he's playing as well as ever. I think it'd be a good combination.
Okay, that's fine. And of course, Scotland have got an interesting match against Croatia, and the Republic of Ireland too. So that's all next weekend. So the main stories on the second Saturday of the Barclaycard Premiership are: Arsenal get back on track as Leicester crash 4-0 at Highbury. The pressure mounts on Peter Taylor.
I'm very confident. I think that the lads work as hard as they can, and they'll carry on doing that until we get some results.
Leeds are held at West Ham. No goals, but a thriller. And Merseyside provides the early league leaders. But it's not Liverpool. Everton go top as Steve McLaren's Middlesbrough lose for the 3rd time. Well, my thanks to Ali and Terry. We're back at 11:45 with our 2nd edition. If you're the sort of chap that sees both shows, you're the sort of chap we're looking for. Or lady, of course.
We're like crystal.